Hello and welcome to another edition of Addition. I'm your host, Addy Snowden. I'm a quantum life coach helping you jump into the reality of your dreams. You can always book with me at calendly.com/additionpod. So I have a really amazing episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking all about the creator economy, but creator is spelled with an AI in the middle of it. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see in the thumbnail how I spell it, the creator economy, but with AI in the middle. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. It's Edition with Addy Snowden. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch, Edition with Addy. I'm on LinkedIn, Addy Snowden. I'm on TikTok at Edition with Addy. So you can follow me, but I would prefer everyone go to my YouTube right now and subscribe to my YouTube. If you are already subscribed, please go ahead and ask your friends, your coworkers, anyone who can benefit from this podcast to subscribe to my YouTube. Again, it is Edition with Addy is my @handle on YouTube, and the YouTube channel name is Edition with Addy Snowden. I'm really excited because I'm going to have so much more content. I have the live stream every week, but I also post shorts there as well. And I also launched a new show with my wife called AOJ Everywhere, where we're going to be doing all sorts of different things, and those are also going to be on my YouTube channel as well. We just live streamed White Lotus 3 season finale. We'll get more into that in the What I'm Geeked Out About this week segment. But today we are talking about the creator economy with AI in the middle, the creator economy. So why do I want to talk about this today? So first of all, if you don't know me, I'm not just a quantum life coach. I formerly worked at Google. I worked for Microsoft. I went to Dartmouth College. I majored in mathematics, modified with studio art. I have an invisible major of economics. I did not declare economics as my major because I cared way too much about major GPA, and economics was really competitive at Dartmouth. So they graded poorly, and that's why I chose math, but I took so many economics classes. I took optional economics reading sessions with professors, one of my favorite professors. I actually did the assignments, I actually did the reading, and I love talking about economics. So everyone is freaking out about the stock market. Like, first of all, let's take a second. America is stressed right now. The stock market's crashing. Guess it's the biggest crash since the 1980s. People are mad at the president. People are changing their political views. Everyone's freaking out. Layoffs have been happening for years. If you've been listening to the Edition with Addy Snowden podcast, I have warned this about since 2022. I've told you that this was coming. Tech entered the Elon era. Now America's in the Elon era. We're in a whole new world. Things are changing. And if the most important takeaway of the podcast today is that the economy that we had is not the economy that we're going to have now. The economy is fundamentally shifted. This future, we're in a new world. Everything you thought you knew, let it go. Okay. So in this world where the stock market's crashing, I've done episodes of the Edition podcast on what to do during a recession, how to prepare for a recession. I will link all of those in the show notes. I don't want to get into that today, but please don't do anything crazy. Hopefully you guys are invested in diversified index funds. I hope you guys aren't just picking random stocks here and there. I hope you guys are setting it and forgetting it and not checking your balance, not logging in. I have logged in. Don't do it. You just got to focus on the long term and not mess around. But I have more detailed podcasts where I talk about personal finance advice, how to manage investments, all of that. I will link those in the show notes. I promise you that. So now what we're going to focus on today is the creator AI in the middle economy, because it's all about this is the direction that I see the most growth happening. I see a fundamental shift in power happening towards creators, especially creators leveraging AI. And don't assume I'm talking about influencers. Creators is much broader. All companies are creators. All companies have social media accounts. All companies have YouTube. Netflix is a creator. They create original content. Apple is a creator. They create original content. Everybody's a creator, or every company is a creator. And there are some businesses that did not need social media, that did not need creators, that did not need marketing. And those are the businesses affected by the tariffs. They're in products, they're in, shipping, of manufacturing, all of that, all of those old world industries, manufacturing, uh, I can't food, farming, things that didn't need, or lumber, steel, things like that that didn't need marketing, didn't need creative. Those are the industries getting most impacted by the tariffs right now. Let's be real. And we don't know how the tariffs are going to play out, but just in general, America has been moving from a service based, or from a product based to a service based economy. America had historically has been letting go of manufacturing and moving into services. Um, while Apple sells laptops, they also sell services like storage, Apple Care. Um, they have, software. In tech, one of the biggest things in terms of growth before AI was this concept of software as a service. We're not selling you products anymore. We're not selling you hardware. We're selling you software as a service. Okay. So, and also, jobs have moved into more gig jobs where we're doing a service. So, for example, like Uber drivers, or we're in Thailand, so Grab drivers, that's a service, and it's not, you don't have to buy a car, you just buy access to a car. So everything has in America has been already moving from product based to service based. And in terms of businesses, especially if you're thinking about a business in the future where we're, trade between countries is different, to not being a product, um, shelters you so much, because a service can't necessarily be impacted by tariffs. Most of us already have bought our computer. Most of us have already bought our iPhone. Most of us have already bought everything we need to provide services. So selling our, we don't have to worry about taxes. We don't have to worry about tariffs. Okay. So again, we're talking about the creator with AI in the middle economy. So for me to define what the creator with AI in the middle economy is, I need to talk about two different terms, and also to talk a little bit about how we even got the names creator economy. So the creator economy came out when people first started taking social media seriously around like 2015, when people realized that Facebook, formerly it's Meta now, but formerly Facebook, was way more powerful than they thought it was. That the stock was performing. Mark Zuckerberg became, the wealthiest man, or one of the top wealthiest men, and everyone was like, "Oh, we need to start focusing on the creator economy." And they were saying, and the creator economy used to be like selling to creators. So think about things like Linktree. Think about things like social listening software, Sprout Social, HubSpot, ways to manage your content. Like, people were trying to get funding for companies that were going to help, that creators were going to be the end consumer of. And that's what launched the creator economy. The creator economy largely did not, it kind of failed. A lot of businesses that were made for creators ended up getting bought or absorbed into other larger companies, typically large big tech companies, and there was no huge payoff for people who were betting on creators. And my theory is that they were focused on things that creators um, will buy, when that's not the total of the creator economy. But anyway, creator economy kind of got pushed aside and moved into Web3. If you guys remember, a few years ago, everyone was talking about Web3 NFTs, and it was the way for creators to actually monetize their communities. People were talking about crypto and all of that. And let's be real, largely that did not work out either. It worked out for some people. It worked out for people investing early. It worked out for people who were conducting crypto scams, but it did not turn, all creators didn't end up having some sort of DAO. And there wasn't a whole bunch of, there was wealth created, but it was also destroyed. So the crypto plus creator was Web3, and that didn't really work out. So once Web3 didn't work out, and if some of you guys are wondering why Web3 and crypto didn't work out, it's largely because after what happened in Ukraine, and the stock market tanked. This was a few years ago when the world heard about what was happening with Russia and Ukraine. I'm not going to get into the details. The stock market crashed, and the crypto market also crashed. A lot of people bought crypto and Web3 because they thought it would be a hedge or a form of protection against a hedge or protection against the market, against the stock market. It was supposed to be recession proof, inflation proof. And crypto would hold its value, especially Bitcoin would hold its value no matter what was going on in the stock market. And that did not happen. That did not happen. Okay. So once the stock market crashed, or the crypto market crashed along with the stock market after what we found out about Russia and Ukraine, then the industry needed to shift into something different because crypto is no longer a hedge on inflation. So that's how we got into the AI economy. Now, we just saw the OpenAI raise $40 billion again. This is now the most valuable private company, or one of the most valuable private companies. And AI launched, but outside of OpenAI, you haven't really seen too many we don't know. I think there's a lot of confusion about what is this payoff with AI, is this what are we doing with AI? Okay, so I talked about the creator economy, where that came from, how the creator economy merged into Web3, and when Web3 failed, we moved into AI. But now we're in a place where we know AI has the potential for something, but we don't necessarily know if that's translating into increased dollars. But what it is translating into is just less demand for jobs. So that's not actually helping the economy in a bigger picture. So that's generally where we're at. So again, we're talking about the creator with AI in the middle economy. And so now that I've given you all that backstory, we can now talk about where we are today. So creators, first of all, everyone's losing their jobs. A lot of people are out of work, and some people are just going to be focused on collecting unemployment and applying for new jobs, and where some people are going to be stepping back and looking at the bigger picture and thinking about what to do next. Because if I was laid off from this job, why wouldn't I be laid off from doing the same thing in another job? If the world is changing, if inflation is happening, what are the demands for my skills in this new world? Do I need to diversify into something different? Thank you all for the comments. Thank you all for the likes. So what people are not paying attention to, and okay, I forgot I have to define another term. So it's called vibe entrepreneurship. So right now, people have been putting vibe in front of things to indicate that AI is a part of it. You heard it here first. Not We may be using the word vibe way more, because vibe means it's AI coded in a way. If you're using something, you're vibing. So vibe coding is to talk about the movement of entrepreneurs or engineers who are using AI to complete their coding assignments, to complete their coding exams, to complete their coding jobs. People are calling it vibe coding. And right now, people are probably being judgmental about vibe coding, but vibe coding has been happening forever, since the internet exists. If we weren't asking AI, we were asking W3 schools or something like that. There's all sorts of websites that help you solve coding problems and help you. It's a dictionary, okay? Using the dictionary, using the encyclopedia instead of just using depending on what's in our mind. Okay, so that's vibe coding. Then there's vibe entrepreneurship, where people are asking ChatGPT, hey, I am really good at marketing. I have $20,000 to invest. I want to be location independent. Give me 10 different business ideas of what I should do. and then give me a business plan on how to execute on those business ideas. And essentially using AI as a business consultant and like a McKinsey business consultant, not the one who can pull on all of the information and facts from every single article across the internet, YouTube video transcript, everything from the hive mind of the world's information based on the parameters of what kind of business I want to do. Um, Using AI to be that consultant, which I know I'm sure a lot of boomers think is crazy, but Gen Z's doing it, millennials are doing it, Gen Xers are doing it, people who are just taking advantage of the resources. Just because AI tells you to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. But in terms of idea generation and creating a path and direction, AI can get you really far along that way. So that is vibe entrepreneurship. So in this world where people are getting laid off and the one thing they have is their phone, the one thing they may have is a computer, everyone is spending their free time consuming content, whether it's on social media or subscription platforms. uh, Everyone has access to AI tools. What is happening is that creators are going to use AI to change what we understand to be true about content. And some companies get this. So OpenAI gets this. They didn't stop at just text in terms of AI. They came back and said, like, we're going to do images, and then they came and said we're also going to do video generation. Who's using images and video generation? Everyone talks about marketing teams at these established companies that are just going to use AI now to generate their images for their social media ads or things like that. I'm not buying that. Large companies have creative teams. They have people who are experts, have decades of experience creating videos, creating ads. The video and ad and TV media industry is really old. There's a lot of seasoned knowledge in that area. Um, so they're going to be the last ones to start adopting AI in terms of their creative. No, who the people who are using AI the most and are going to have the most leverage with it are, well, one, students. Everyone knows this. Okay. Students, they're creating products for students now. But the second one is creators who are typically solopreneurs. They maybe have a small team or are a team of one. They're they may have at one point had an intern or an assistant or a copywriter or a video editor. They may have had a social media intern. Well, basically, to get the kind of creator, to get the kind of business of a creator, it takes a lot. You have to be on every single platform. You have to do titles, descriptions, hashtags, captions, transcripts. You got to constant post 4 times a day. Like, there's a really long list of all of the things that people need to do as creators if they want to be a creator. They may have hired a Fiverr intern. They may have hired a college intern. They may have invested in a full-time employee. Now they can just use AI. So while AI may be helping with operations and basic things, what we're not talking about are people who've been laid off. They're really intelligent. They have a lot of skills. They have years of experience in a certain industry or doing a certain thing. And now they're using that brain to think about how to apply it to being a creator and and creating content. And that is what we don't know the outcome of. Part of it, they may be using it to craft consent, like synthesize their original ideas, things that we haven't heard before, into tweets or posts. They may be using it to create art that we've never seen before, images that we've never seen before. I recently used Canva's new AI tool, and it's excellent. And it's the best, like, user interface for AI image generation that I've ever used. And so Canva is 100% a company that gets it. Let's be very real. Canva gets the create with an AI in the middle economy. So, yeah, people are going to be creating images that we've never seen before. And I firmly believe that life imitates art. And I know that's a question that we'll never be able to answer, but that's the camp that I'm on. So with new AI creations, we're going to get new art, and life is going to replicate it. And the best way example of and let's be real, the US government gets this. They are posting content, AI generated content, to create the vision, to create new visions in our head about where the future is going. I have I am in Thailand. I try to stay off scrolling as much as possible. And thank you, Jay Snow, for sharing the live. Thank you so much, everyone, for liking the live. So I'm unplugged. I'm doing my best to stay off the internet in terms of scrolling. There's certain people that I follow, certain blogs that I follow, certain emails that I'm subscribed to, but I'm really stay away from all of this media that's being put out, because it's created with the intention to instill fear. But that's the perfect example of something that people didn't expect a government to do with AI. Think about what people are going to do with AI. And this isn't about like scary things. This is about generating new concepts, new ideas, new thought forms. So, something that is always encouraging to me is that recessions are actually really, 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 really positive in terms of creativity. Like, um, Google was created in 2008 recession. Like, the list goes on of all sorts of companies that came out of a recession. Um, there's going to be a new creative surge, and I believe AI is going to be not the fuel of the creative surge, but it's going to be the main tool in the toolkit. Like, create AI, we don't care about AI because of what AI can do. We care about AI because of what humans can do with the help of AI. And we always forget about artists, but artists are the trendsetters of the world. Artists are the drivers of the economy. The world follows artists. Recently, one of my favorite artists, I don't like his music right now, but Playboy Cardi, he uh, said he used AI to create the album. uh, More artists are using AIs to, musicians are creating AI to create music videos. My brother-in-law, who's an artist, is actually the one who told me about Canva AI. So artists are on AI heavy, for lack of better words, and um, get ready to see the world change based on what a creative mind does in combination with AI. So, okay, that's the creator economy. I hope you guys enjoyed that economics lesson. I love talking about economics. I was going to get really geeky and talk about like supply and demand and how these tariffs are going to affect demand and supply, but who cares about that stuff? I'm sure there's million podcasts that are talking about tariffs and how they're going to affect your portfolio and blah, 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 blah. But the takeaway is you can't tariff an idea. You can't tariff. You can't tariff a digital something digital. You can't tariff a service. So if you're trying to be an entrepreneur in 2025, if you are trying to figure out how to pivot your business in 2025, you need to move towards services away from products, and you need to move. You get ask AI for help. Like, my wife is so good about this. She always reminds me to go to ChatGPT first. um like, and it's not like our mind aren't capable, but it's like if our mind was not focused on generating headlines or generating random descriptions for these AI platforms, what could it be used for? Could it be used for generating other ideas? So it's not even what the AI even comes up with or what the human collaborates with the AI to come up with. It's like, what is that human now going to create with that additional capacity that AI has now like subsidized? So there's now more room in our brains, essentially, um, for us to think, for us to create, for us to feel, and expand the usage of it, basically. So pay attention to companies combining creators and AI in a way where it's not the creator buying it, The creator is typically not going to buy anything, but they are going to use free products. And I'm sure we can think of a lot of companies that have free products that are still incredibly valuable. Meta is one of them. Google is one of them. So, yeah, the creator economy with AI in the middle. Okay. Thanks for listening. All right. So, next is the career segment. We're going to talk about the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. So, we're actually on commitment 15. So, this cycle is coming to an end. So I'm going to recap a little bit, like why we're even talking about the 15 commitments of conscious leadership anyway. So as you guys know, I used to be a full-time employee, and I wanted to learn about how to just not be so stressed out about work. And I was taking like professional development classes, leadership development classes, and I did an executive coaching workshop where they talked about the concepts behind the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. They talked about leaders lead above the line versus below the line, and that really intrigued me, and how to stay in my higher self. Like in the spirituality, people talk about higher self. um, you know I wanted to be high vibration, like as opposed to low vibration when I'm interacting with work, when I'm interacting with other people. So I read this, did the workshop, got a one-on-one with the coaches, and ended up finding the book that their principles were based on, and that it's the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. These commitments can be used not just for work, they can be used in relationships, everything. And every commitment is powerful. And I'm excited to talk about our final commitment. I'm not sure what the career segment is going to be moving forward. I may not have a career segment, who knows? But commitment 15, let's talk about it, being the resolution. So I commit to being the resolution or solution that is needed. Seeing what is missing in the world is an invitation to become that which is required. So let me read that again. I commit to being the resolution or solution that is needed. Seeing what is missing in the world is an invitation to become that which is required. Okay, amazing. So I know a lot of you guys listen, or who listen to the podcast, and especially if you're listening earlier where I was talking about the creator AI economy. um, we are creators, right? And I feel like just the idea of being the solution, like people always complain about there's no visibility. I don't feel represented in the media. I don't like any new music. Like people always have something to complain about in terms of like what's missing in the world. And this commitment is about being the solution to what's missing at the world. Like I'm gonna give you guys a challenge. Like don't complain like for a week. And whenever you think about complaining about something, whether it's bad service, whether it's how a TV show storyline went, write down what that missing representation is. So if I'm at a restaurant and I don't like the cocktail, how it was mixed, I'm going to write delicious cocktail recipes. If I'm watching a TV show and I feel like the storyline didn't go the way I wanted it to go, I would write down stories that go the way I want it to go, whatever that is. Like for example, if they fell in love in the end, as if they broke up in the end versus falling in love, right? TV shows that end in falling in love, So to take the power away from our complaint and channel it into an action, a way that we can be the resolution. As you can imagine at work, it would be amazing. The impact would be so amazing of people not complaining and just being the solution. And at work, not everyone has time to, and I'm not saying be the superhero and just solve it for everyone, but instead of saying, oh, this process isn't good, say like, hey, I think we need to start designing a new process. Here's some ideas about what should be included in the new process. So yeah, commit to being the resolution. Thank you so much for liking the live. Thanks for Jay Snow for being my biggest fan. And so many of you guys have showed out and popped up today. Thanks everyone for sharing the live. I've had some really amazing people pop in the live today on TikTok. I am Dre Brown, which is amazing. He popped in. And also Aaliyah's interlude popped in. Like, if you guys are still in here, can you subscribe? Can you follow me, because I go live every week? Can you share my content with your audience? Just do a repost. Amazing. So if you're not joining me on live, you're missing out. But thanks to all those who listen to the show on the podcast. I ask, if you are listening on the podcast, please leave a 5-star review. That's the way more people can find out about the podcast. And also remember that there's a visual experience where you can see me in Thailand with my beautiful background setting on YouTube. So you can subscribe to the YouTube edition with Addy Snowden. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm geeked out about this week. So this week, Jelena and I officially launched our YouTube channel, AOJ Everywhere. A stands for Addy, O stands for our cat Oya, and J stands for my beautiful wife, Jolene. And we live streamed our live reaction to watching the White Lotus season finale. Love White Lotus. I haven't talked about it too much on this podcast because I enjoy talking about it with my wife, Jolene. This season it's in Thailand, so it's a very, very, very close to home. And you can watch us live react to the season 3 White Lotus finale. I'm going to have the link in the show notes, but it's also on our YouTube channel. It's at AOJ Everywhere. So I will, so definitely go check it out. Subscribe to that YouTube channel as well. And obviously we are part of the AI creator economy. Hopefully you guys figured that out. But again, stay tuned for everything that we're going to be putting out in this new world, because the whole world is changing. And if you're freaking out, if you are really nervous, if you're worried about worst case scenarios, stop, breathe, and remind yourself of your present moment. Like, right now, do you have something to eat for the next 2 days? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have a warm place to sleep? Do you have a support system that cares about you? Count your blessings. Take some time to focus on gratitude and what you do have, as opposed to being nervous and freaked out about what may come, because that doesn't exist yet. There's a lot of stuff being put out trying to get you to panic and be scared and freak out and make rash decisions, and take it from someone who has exited the matrix, who is living her dream reality outside of all of the chaos. The worst, like, you got to focus on the present, because the worst is a theory right now, whereas the present is a fact. Oh my gosh, the worst is a theory, but the present is a fact. Okay, so that's one closing comment. This reminds me of Jerry Springer final thoughts. But I have another closing comment. And this was a comment that one of the Edition YouTube listeners, shout out to everyone who subscribed to the YouTube with Edition, posted this amazing comment on last week's episode about the truth about self-care. So this is at Alpine AI. Interesting. I'm like, Alpine AI, are you AI? Like, do you work in AI? I know this is not AI because she's a real person, but I'm curious as to why it's called Alpine AI. But she replied to the video saying, "I believe self-care is more a subtraction and division problem versus an addition and multiplication problem." So again, at Alpine AI says, "I believe self-care is more in a subtraction and division problem versus an addition and multiplication problem. Flow is our natural state until things are added that cause friction." I thought that was incredibly profound. As you know, I'm a math geek, math nerd. That's why the podcast is called Addition with Addy. And I love how they incorporated the message of the show into the comment. So yes, if you haven't listened to the self-care episode, go back and listen to it. I didn't promote it because I was practicing self-care. I already did it live. But if your self-care is a to-do list of things that you're not currently doing that you need to add, whether it's like, I need to start going to the gym, I need to start meditating, I need to start eating better, I need to start doing this, you're doing it wrong. It's not about things you can add or things you can multiply. It's about what can you take away. It's like, I'm going grocery shopping every week, and that really stresses me out and puts me in a bad mood. how can I outsource that to Instacart? How can I make that someone else's job? How can I start delegating so I do less? And if that freaks you out, therein lies the problem of why you're not practicing self-care. So, in the spirit of this episode, think about my also message is think about what you can ask AI to do. Think about what you can ask AI to do for you that can save you time. All right. Okay. At this point, I'm going to take questions. Just we've talked about a lot today. We've talked about the state of the U.S. economy. We've talked about the future AI creator economy. We've talked about being the solution to your questions or being the solution to your problems, being what is missing in the world. And we talked about our new show, Julene and I's new show, AOJ Everywhere. I don't know if we're going to call it the AOJ Everywhere show. That's what it is on my channel. But AOJ Everywhere, we just live streamed White Lotus season 3 finale and commented together. So at this point, I'm taking questions. I'm going to be doing Q&A, let's say for the next 15 minutes. It's so until it doesn't matter because you're probably not in my time zone. So go to the comments. Thank you so much. Jay Snow says you look so cute. Thank you so much. Said you heard it here first. Hashtag Elon era. Older subs know. Big facts. Thank you so much for being here for years. Okay. So Jay Snow says, oh, thanks for the gifts. Amazing. You guys are amazing. Thank you, Jay Snow. You're the best. So what is my favorite use of AI? Jay Snow asks. My favorite use of AI. So I really, and this is recency bias, but I really like using the Canva AI feature. Canva has, I've always liked doing like making images, art, graphic design. I like making things that look pretty, and I like generating images in AI. So not specifically Canva. That's just my current favorite platform to generate images. But Jay Snow, I've been generating images for a long time now. Before people were even generating images with AI. So generating photos, that's my favorite thing to do with AI. Another favorite thing to do is to generate questions for this podcast. I'm going to ask ChatGPT for some questions as you guys are thinking about your questions. So again, I'm taking questions on anything really. So for the next 13 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to ask ChatGPT. And I'm not going to tell you my prompt. Taking question. All right, taking questions. Taking questions right now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are taking questions on all platforms. Just go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm being a creator AI and asking AI for some questions to generate. All right. Okay, so I'm asking ChatGPT my prompt about what questions have for the podcast. Okay, so had some questions. So what excites you the most about how creators are using AI today that they couldn't do even a year ago? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. I I would say video generation. It excites me and it scares me at the same time. Jason O says give us a Thailand update. I'll answer that next. So uh, video generation is being used for doing some really bad stuff right now. I'm going to be the solution to my own problem and start creating some AI generated videos that are helpful and encouraging to the mission of the world. So I think there's video generation is new. I haven't played around too much with it, and I think there's always a lag in adoption of new products, and I'm excited to see how creators are going to use video generation. Okay, Jay Snow said, give us a Thailand update. Oh my gosh. So Thailand is continuing to be fabulous. I will say Thailand is hot. Thailand is really hot. It's 11:19 a.m. right now. I started this episode, I guess, about 40 minutes ago. So I started at like 10:30. It's hot. I'm sure there's beads of sweat on my brow. It's low season. So talking about economies, Thailand is experiencing its swings in its economies. Tourism has gone down significantly. Part of it is because it's the Thai holiday season. It's about to be Thai New Year's this weekend. Jillian and I are going to a festival in Bangkok we're really excited about. Um, but there's, honestly a great time to come to Thailand because there's a lot of vacancies. You'll probably be able to get good discounts on villas and such. But yeah, things are slowing down here, and I'm excited to see what the Thai holidays are like. I'm really excited to go to Bangkok with Jolene. We haven't spent time in Bangkok at all. We've pretty much been on this little island this whole time. So I'm really excited about that. What else? If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a bowl. As you can see, I'm swatting bugs away. We don't spend as much time outside now because it's really hot. Um, and this is why they encourage you to come during the high season of November through March, I think. But that being said, because Julie and I like to go swimming, we like to go to the beach, we like to do, we have a lot of places that we like to go. We are figuring out a way to stay cool and have fun. Like, it's not, definitely no regrets. It's just warmer. It's seasons. It's changing. So thank you. All right. So we got about 9 minutes for more questions. Yes, always asking questions and answering questions about Thailand. Yeah, 9 more minutes of Q&A. So if you got a question, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Go ahead and put it in the chat and comments. Gonna go back to our question. Okay. So how do you envision creators monetizing AI generated work long term? That, I don't think that's going to be okay. An excellent question. What role should platforms like OpenAI, YouTube, Substack? Thank you so much. Julie just brought an incense to help me with the bugs. Okay, what role should platforms like OpenAI, YouTube, Substack, etc., play in protecting creators who use AI tools from being displaced or exploited? So I think there's two movements right now. There's people who think that AI is bad. The AI is going to make the world a worse place, and then there are people who are saying that AI is going to make the world a better place. There's people who think that creators that are using AI are cheating, and then there are people saying that creators who are using AI are leveraging new technology. There's so much people. There's people think essentially AI is good or AI is bad, and I love that AI, of course, ChatGPT asked a self-preservation question. So uh, right now platforms are forcing people to disclose when AI is used, and it's kind of like when people platforms were forcing people to say hashtag ad, and it's like if your episode is sponsored, you need to let people know. And I understand that because they don't want people to be manipulated, but it makes it seem like it's a bad thing, and it's like if better they want content to not be using AI tools, and they're gonna maybe potentially give you less view or less reach because you're using AI. But if someone is creating an absolute masterpiece with AI, we're doing the world a disservice by not putting it out there. So maybe platforms should have an option on the user settings. Like in my TikTok, I can put in my settings whether I want to restrict content that uses AI as opposed to it being like completely default or suppressed. And the truth is, you're never going to know whether someone is using AI for their content. Like in terms of videos, that matters, but people use Photoshop. Like, what is the difference between creating something in Photoshop and creating an AI generated video. Like, I feel like we're, to use a term from Chris Rock's stand up, selective outrage. People are really being selectively outraged by AI. So platforms should not be othering creators that are being displayed or that are using AI tools to produce their creative work. That is so backwards. It's so anti-innovation. People are always scared of change, are always scared of new technology and how it's going to impact something, as opposed to celebrating and embracing it. Whew, okay, thanks for coming to that TED Talk. So I guess I do feel passionate about that. There's another question. How do you envision creators monetizing AI generated work long term? Are the current models sustainable? So I absolutely think that the current models of, like, right now, creators get monetized either like through the platform where they get like a penny for a view, or a creator fund, or the platform is just outwardly giving them money to be on the platform, like Substack or Spotify. So creators are either, the platform is funding them either through revenue sharing, or allowing them to do gifts or something. I'm on TikTok Live. People can send me gifts. I have a gift goal right now. Go ahead and send me a gift. And or they can work with companies that are outsourced. Sorry, I always get thrown off when people walk by me. I'm outside right now in my neighborhood, but or they work with companies and they get a sponsorship, right? So those are pretty much the two ways. Or they're selling their own product, like a book or a course, on their website, and the whole purpose of their creator platform is to send it to their paid email subscription, or sign up for their course, right? That is so old and tired. Of course, AI is going to disrupt. I don't think this current models are sustainable. It's really um, not streamlined. So I think that in terms of AI is going to help creators figure out new disruptive ways to earn money. And I also see, if I had to give a prediction, donation, just straight up donation, as opposed to revenue share, as opposed to selling a product. Essentially putting your ask, like, what's your, putting your coffee cup out and putting tips on it, and not, and in a way like TikTok Live is this, but a lot of platforms don't necessarily have it. Like, people should be able to donate directly on a tweet. Like, if someone tweets or posts, I guess it's called like X posts or threads, like there should be like a send money feature on every form of content. On my YouTube video right now, there should be like a send money. I think if we're moving from product to service, I think we're the next thing after service. Like, so product is like, I give you this widget for some money. Service, I help you with something for some money. In the future, it's just, I'm just giving you money. And I think that that's where creators are going to monetize. They're just going to ask for money. I think so. That's an excellent idea. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. And I feel like there's a lot of negative context, or a lot of negative. Um, what's the word? I'm sorry, guys. Help me. What's the word when there's a lot of not stereotypes, but when negative, not assumptions, but there's a lot of negativity around like just asking for money. And like when you find out like somebody's begging on the side of the street, it's like, oh my gosh, like, how dare they? Why don't they just get a job? And it's like, well, they would get a job if no one was giving them money, if they're begging on the side of the street. And you may be listening to me and say like, this is entitled, or this is like, what do I know about that? Well, I have begged on the side of the street. Like, I have either busking as a guitar player and putting my coffee cup out, and that's actually how I learned how to play guitar. Or why I learned in the first place. I wanted to be able to ask for change. Good morning. You know what I mean? And I know that's crazy, and we can deep dive into that in another episode. I was definitely going through some hard times, but I made a lot of money just asking for money, and I eventually didn't need the guitar anymore. And it's not just me. I know people who were paying their whole rent. They would go to Little 5 Points, bring their dog. You got to essentially bring your dog and definitely tie a kerchief. Just tie a little kerchief, like a little bandana, around the dog's neck. They would come in to Little Five, hang out with the other homeless, ask for change, and go back home to their apartment. And people are like, "Oh my gosh, how can you do that?" Yes, Jay Snow, I'm educating the folks on panhandling 101, because you never know. You never know when you need. I'm sorry. I really need to. I don't even know where this is going, but people are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe someone who has a place to live is pretending to be poor and holding out a cup." And it's like, well, they didn't say I'm poor. They didn't say I'm poor. They said, "Please give me some money if you got some extra money." They didn't, essentially, like, no one forced them to give the money. They just took what the universe was willing to give to them. And I think creators who adopt that sooner are going to profit from it. So yes, Jay Snow says, it's real, ask and you shall receive. It's so true. I feel like, and this will be my closing Jerry Springer final thoughts, like, what you think you are missing in the world, it's because you didn't ask for it. If you don't have something, it's because you haven't asked for it. I'm a spiritual person, so I ask God, I ask the universe, I ask angels, I ask whoever can help me for help. And you need to ask you whatever your version of that is, because we just don't ask. I never finished the autobiography of Malcolm X, but there's a quote that really stuck with me, which is, "The loudest mouth gets fed." So keep asking for what you want, and you'll be surprised that you're gonna get it. All right. So again, you can always email me if you have questions, additionpod@gmail.com. You can message me, DM me on all my social media platforms, Instagram @addition with Addy, TikTok @addition with Addy, Facebook Addy Snowden, LinkedIn Addy Snowden. What else? What am I missing? YouTube, Addition with Addy Snowden. Contact me. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about on the podcast. So yeah, the creator AI economy, y'all. I hope you had it. You can see the sun is coming, and I'm like I'm moving in the sun, I'm moving out of the sun. It's really hot right now. So I will talk to you guys next week, if not sooner. I hope you have a fabulous week. Happy Siam Songkran, everybody. Sawadee ka.